right, so I'm making this video to explain tempo. You might notice in your strength training today, you have tempo back squat, tempo bench press, something tempo. So you might have something like, let's say tempo back squat, has your reps, your sets, percentage or your weight, and then next to that you might see this thing in parentheses with all these numbers, and you're thinking like, what does that mean? How do I read this? So I'm making this video to kind of make that easier for you guys. Okay, so this is what a tempo prescription looks like. All right, so you probably see that in your programming. First number right here correlates with the eccentric or the lowering portion of a lift. So we'll use a back squat, for example, today. So in this prescription of 32x1 that reads, your first number is going to be the lowering portion of your squat. So the amount of time it takes you from the top to the bottom of your squat should be 3 seconds. So you're either counting in your head, you're having a training partner count for you, you're looking at a clock, something along those lines. 3 seconds from the top to bottom. That's your first number. Second number is the isometric hold. Okay, this is the hold at the bottom or the top of a movement. Again, for the sake of today, we're talking about, we'll use the back squat as an example. This would be the time that you take at the bottom of your squat. Now, you guys do make sure this is a hold, and like a squat, you might get to the bottom and relax. We don't want that. We want it to be a nice tight hold. It should be kind of challenging. It shouldn't be bottoming out, relaxing, right? So for the sake of the back squat, you'd have a 3 second lower. You'd have a 2 second static hold at the bottom. And then we get to the third number, the concentric or the up portion of a lift. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this isn't a number, this is X. When you see that, what that means is you're just trying to do that portion of the lift as fast as possible. So you're trying to stand up out of the bottom of a squat as fast as possible. You'd go down for 3 seconds, you hold for 2 seconds as tight as you can, and you try to stand up as fast as you can. Okay. This won't always be an X, this could be another number. Sometimes I want you guys to control the up portion of a lift for various reasons, right? So if this was a 2, you'd stand up for 2 seconds, right? And then finally, the last number. The fourth number is the time between the reps. Again, it's the amount of time that it takes for you to like stand in between your reps or at the top of like a bench press before you do your next rep. This number, in my opinion, at least for you guys, out of all of this is the least important. I'd rather you guys maybe take extra second or 2 at the top if needed to make sure that you're prescribing to these numbers. Try to do your best, but again, if you're finding that only holding 1 second at the top or 2, whatever number I give you is not enough to get nice and tight before your next rep, I'd rather you just slow it down, get braced, get tight, do your next rep, okay? So when we're talking about, let's just say a tempo back squat at a 3-2-x1 tempo, you'd be lowering for 3 seconds, holding for 2 at the bottom, exploding up, and then waiting about a second before you do your next back squat, all right? Now, it doesn't always read this way. I'm gonna just throw out, like, let's take a strict press, for example. A strict press starts with the bar on the shoulders. Your first movement isn't a lowering movement, it's actually an up movement or a concentric movement. So we'd actually start something like a press, a strict press, with the X, right? We'd go up as fast as possible. We'd hold isometrically overhead for 2 seconds, and we'd actually lower for 3 seconds. So for something like a strict press or maybe a deadlift, we'd actually read this way, right? It'd go X, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so it's not always left to right. Don't make that mistake. It just depends on what movement comes first. All right, guys? If you have questions about this or anything on your programming, always make sure, message me, try to get in ahead of it before you go do it. I'm always trying to here to help you guys out. I hope this clears some stuff up for you guys. Have a good workout.